Today we'll cover 4 non-immigrant visas that are available for entrepreneurs: the O-1A, L-1A, E-2, and H-1B. Now, not all of them are the best fit necessarily, but we'll cover the ins and outs. So, how do you think about this? What's the most popular one for entrepreneurs?
The most popular one for entrepreneurs is the O-1. And the reason is it is heavily focused on the applicant. It's not dependent on so much on the company. So if you meet the criteria for an O-1, you can actually come to the US as an entrepreneur, start a business, and you can do that for initial 3 years, and then it allows unlimited extensions.
So no, it doesn't matter how many employees you have or the structure or the investment, nothing?
No, it doesn't. It's heavily focused on the applicant.
Yeah, you still need a job offer and a real company, but not much more than that.
Correct.
Okay, that's great. So actually, I would say 99% of entrepreneurs I know are with the O-1A, right? So that's by far, but it has its things, right? So for example, spouses cannot work.
Correct.
And not everyone, is yet a great candidate for the O-1.
Yeah, I mean, you have to qualify, right? So you have to meet the criterias. You have to have a good profile for an O-1. Yes, your spouse cannot work, so this doesn't work for some people.
Yeah. What about the E-2?
E-2, it is an investor visa, so to speak. But since United States really doesn't have a visa for entrepreneurs, like a purely visa defined for entrepreneurs, which is still shocking, sometimes we have to utilize the E-2 and make it work for entrepreneurs. E-2 is a treaty investor visa, meaning that the United States needs to have a treaty with your country, with your home country. Currently, I believe United States has about 82 treaties. And if you're a passport holder from one of these countries, you can potentially go for the E-2. The way it works is you have to set up a company in the United States and you have to invest substantial amount of money. Then what is substantial amount of money? That's where things get more interesting. We don't have a specific amount, so you have to decide. I mean, we look at the type of business you're gonna open, you're gonna run, and then how much money you will need to do that. And that's what the consular officer will also look at.
Yeah, there's a normal threshold that people, throw around of 100K. I know it's not perfect. I know it could be less, it could be more, right? But just to give a general sense.
Yeah, so you wanna be at $100,000 usually. Some consulates have unwritten rules, like for example, the UK, they wanna see 100,000. Others, not really. I have done a few that were with 60,000, and that was enough. But it was a small business, right? So if your idea is to open up 5 restaurants at the same time, obviously 100,000 is not gonna be enough. And if you go in with 100,000, your visa will be denied.
Yeah, and so here the focus, gets away from the entrepreneur. It goes more into the investment and what the money is getting used at, right?
Yeah.
In this case, the spouse can work.
Yes, in these cases, the spouse can work. So some people, assuming that there is a treaty between their home country and the United States, they go with the E-2 because the spouse is allowed to work.
Yeah, and also when you have an E-2 as an investor, it's easier to bring other foreign nationals from your country as E-2 essential employees.
That is correct, yes. So that way you guarantee, let's say your business is such as that you will need certain experience and expertise from your home country. E-2 is a great vehicle for that. So you don't have to depend on H-1B or other things. You can just bring essential employees from your home country.
Yeah, I mean, the typical E-2 employee though is a bit less on the startup world and more on the traditional business side, but it's also an option.
It can work in the startup world as well.
Yeah. What about the L1?
So the L1A traditionally, the traditional L1A is designed for large corporations. Think Apple, Meta, Google, who want to transfer their executive from their foreign offices in the United States. That's the traditional L1A. They also have an L-1A called L-1A New Office. So for this one is if you have an established company outside the United States, so this is not, we're getting out a little bit of the entrepreneur round here. So you have to have an established company outside the United States, and your desire is to expand your business into the United States. So you come in and you have to set up either a affiliate or a subsidiary. In that case, you can use the L-1A. It's still, we use it, we call it, that you can use it for entrepreneurs, because if you come in the US and start a new business or an extension of your business here, that's a new business technically. So they will give it to you for 1 year. So in 1 year, you have to do the setup, you have to actually start making money, preferably make it profitable. And it's not that easy.
And hiring people.
And hire people. You have to show that you will hire people, you hire people, and you're managing people. That's the essence of that visa.
Yeah, and before you should have worked for your own company for 1 year or more.
Correct.
So it can work for entrepreneurs, but typically those that are a bit,
advanced. Into, more on the established side of things. Established company that just wants to come here and open up a new office as an extension of what you have in your home country.
Yeah, and the other advantage is that the spouse can also work in this case, such as in the E-2.
Yeah, and also it's a path to a permanent residence.
Yeah, with the EB-1C in this case.
Yep.
Okay. And finally, the H-1B.
Yeah, so the H-1B, I don't want to say it's like the best option for entrepreneurs. It can work in some cases. So basically, if you have a company and you're the majority owner of that company, technically your company can sponsor you for an H-1B. Easier said than done. You still have to follow the traditional H-1B rules of prevailing wage, meaning your company needs to pay you a prevailing wage determined by the Department of Labor. So if it's a startup and you just registered the company a week ago and now you want to do an H-1B, and you have no clients, no contracts, it will be hard to pay that prevailing wage to yourself.
Well, or you need some investment.
Or you need some investment amount poured into that company. So there are those considerations of the prevailing wage. Then the other consideration is with the traditional H-1B, there's a heavy emphasis on the employer-employee relationship. What that means is you have to show and prove that the employer controls you. And control means they can fire you, hire you, discipline you, assign you tasks. Now, if you are the majority owner of that company, how would you show that company can fire you? So there's a conflict there. So in these situations, to avoid that or to try to avoid it, you have to usually register the company as a C Corp. You have to have a board. Ultimately, that board controls the company and controls you.
Yeah. Yeah, I know in this year in January, they changed the H-1B. They formalized kind of this beneficiary owner.
Right.
Let's see if they're going to change a bit that or not. But for now, to be conservative, it's good to have this employer-employee relationship and keep it. Yeah,
that is correct. And last is also some people, if you want to potentially apply for a green card, you can't really do it through your own company. So sometimes that's also, when you tell clients that they won't be able to file for perm through the company, then that's also taken into consideration. But it is an option. It is there. Some people do it. If it fits, there's nothing wrong with it.
So even though the O-1 might be the best alternative for you, it's always good to understand all your options just to make the best decision.